Hey everybody, my name is Evan and I like to draw, and today- oh my god! Oh, my hands. Alright, well, yeah, believe it or not, we're in the real world today. Anyway, I have this little Triceratops Mattel Jurassic World mini, whatever you want to call it, and I thought it'd be fun to do something with it. And I had the grand idea to make it look like this Spinoceratops, so, yeah. I can't get over my hands. But anyway, I have this little Carnotaurus guy and all these other dinosaurs in the back, so we're just gonna, like, get right into it. Oh, and I have a knife, too. And so we're gonna stab me. No, we're gonna stab this Triceratops. So, first things first. Mind the janky footage. I don't know how to record, and I'm literally sitting at my desk, sad and alone, so just watch my little phone record everything. Anyway, right here I'm talking about how I'm going to give him some scoliosis surgery, basically by just shoving the knife down his spine and then tearing it up all the way towards his neck. Like that exactly. And then in the next clip, boom, right now, look at that, you can kind of see the little incision, and I can pick him up and spin him around on my knife. So there you have it, that's step one done. There was no pre-planning to this. This was just a fast and loose, let's see what we can do type of deal. So, yeah, that's step one, and then it'll just continue from here on out. And so the next step is to basically just cut out his frill, sail, Spinosaurus sail. Anyway, I got this book, and if you look at the cover, it's all like bendy and plasticky. So, what we're gonna do is take our little Triceratops, slap him on there, and then cut out a little outline in the square. But to do that, we need a pencil. So, we're just gonna dig through till we find one. And here you'll watch me struggle to take out a pencil for like 3 seconds. Alright, there we go, cool. Alright, moving on. Now, we got the Triceratops, we're putting him down, and after all that, we're getting ready to draw the sail, and, yeah, the pencil didn't even work, so that was embarrassing. Anyway, in the other pencil case, I have something in here, I just know it. Not the Vine Charcoal, not the Blick pencils, it's somewhere. I have a bunch of colored pencils, no, not the eraser, where is it? Yes, here it is. The grease pencil. If you don't know what that is, don't worry, they're boring. Anyway, this thing will actually draw on this little flexy plastic thing. And if you can see, I kind of drew the outline right there, but then, wha-bam, grease pencil magic, and I drew it too big, of course. And then I draw it too small, so this is really embarrassing for me. But that's the basic idea of what the scale's gonna look like. Not scale, the sail's gonna look like. And so, boom, there it is, perfectly cut out and drawn. See, exactly, even I approve. So, all we gotta do now is take my knife, which I lost. Oh, okay, that's really not good. Not next to the dinosaurs, not next to the putty. Oh, there it is, in the corner behind the iPad, of course. Anyway, all we gotta do now is just cut out this little sail without cutting myself, and we do it perfectly. Me magically, I don't know how. I'm not the best at cutting things, but if you watch right here, boom. Wow, that's how knives work, by the way. They literally just cut things. So, all we gotta do now is, like, cut out the little dome shape for the sail, and then, that's way off center, but you know, the job gets done. I decide to actually cut it out as a big rectangle first, and then I can go in and get the separate little cuts, except, see, I approve again, except I can't do that on camera because I need 2 hands to do it, so with this magical editing, boom, there it is, it's completely finished. And now, you might think I'm an idiot, and I would completely agree, but watch this. This is where my immortal genius comes through. Get ready. With the scoliosis surgery and the sail, we just slide it right in. Boom shakalaka. No clay required. No glue, even though we use that later. Nothing. Just straight up big brain power and knives. There you have it. And so, the only thing left to do for this sail is to give it a nice little bumpy pattern all the way along, which I do right there, and it doesn't look the best, but the idea gets across, I suppose. And I also labeled each side with a little arrow as to which one would be the front, so I don't get confused and mess up my Spinoceratops. But now that that's done, we can move on to whatever is next. And now we need to Sinoceratops or Triceratops, and if you can see, his nose horn is way too small. But I have this Carnotaurus, and oh, he's ugly. He's an ugly little face. Only a face a mother could love. But anyway, you may be wondering, why the heck are you using a Carnotaurus for your Sinoceratops? Well, look at his tail, and then look at my Triceratops nose. It almost looks like if I cut the tail, it would be the perfect size for a Sinoceratops horn. Well, dear viewer, you would be correct, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut my Carnotaurus into pieces, and this time I do it on camera, because I love being risky. Anyway, look at his little tail. Get ready. Wah, bam. Oh, almost. Wah, bam. Boom. Incision complete. Totally severed. Oh my goodness. There you have it. We now have this little piece of the tail, and all we gotta do now is cut that down even more diagonally, just like so. Oh, alright, well, that was a total bait. Anyway, I do it off camera, apparently. So this is where I insert those little title cards I made. Oh, boom! Anyway, the next thing to cut off camera is going to be the Triceratops' two big front horns, and we're just going to act like I'm cutting them before we switch to the title card right now. Alrighty then, after the title card is finished, you can see the SPINOCERATOPS horn made out of the Carnotaurus tail with a little cut in between, and then a little other piece of plastic shoved inside of the nose. And then you can also see I made my Triceratops bald by cutting off of his other horns. Wow, he's scary looking for certain. I'm gonna make you uncomfortably stare at him forever. Anyway, if you remember what a SPINOCERATOPS looks like, they got a bunch of little spikes and ridges all along their crest. And then this Carnotaurus has a bunch of little spikes and ridges all along his back. So if you can put two and two together, we're gonna mutilate this guy even more, and then shove them all on top of my SPINOCERATOPS. And using E6000, we're gonna be able to do it flawlessly. I don't know what this is. I bought it at the store. I think it's glue. We'll figure it out. And boom, gluing in progress. We'll see what it looks like at the end. And would you look at that, after that lovely title card, we have our amazing, spectacular SPINOCERATOPS. Wowza, he's got his little Sinoceratopsian details. And you're gonna look at him adorned in golden light. My goodness, yes, look at him. He's also got holes in his head that I ripped his skin out of. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all of the modification and the cutting part finished. I also glued everything down with that E6000 because apparently it is just glue, but it like dries rubbery, so it actually worked really well because it kind of maintains the same, like, you know, rubbery material as these minis. But that is everything done in terms of the cutting nonsense, so if you just look at these beautiful in-progress shots, oh my, he's so pretty. Next up is gonna be the painting. No. And so, as we look around my incredibly crowded desk, you may be thinking, Evan, where the heck are you supposed to paint? There's no room. Well, dear viewer, look at this. I have some spectacular Gray Matters paper palette, Patel de Papier, Palette de Papel. Yes, so we have this paper that is used for painting, and so I've never used it before. It's got a weird texture to it, but I'm pretty sure if you put the paint on it, it's just gonna like work like a little palette thing. And of course we need some brushes, so right here, ba-boom, we have a bunch of little, I think, cheap brushes that I got like for $4 in individual packaging. And since my SPINOCERATOPS is mini, we're going to use the little brush, this one, just so I can get the big large strokes all over him and cover him in like a record time, because that's what I love doing. Anyway, I also have napkins, and I'll set my little SPINOCERATOPS to the side, and the napkins will act as water things. But yes, look at this brush. It's so brushy here. Let me brush you. How do you feel? Anyway, moving on, we're gonna make him his little cobalt blue, and to do that we're gonna use blue and white, but I can't do that on camera because I need two hands, so title card, go at it again. And there you go, my SPINOCERATOPS is blue, but he's too blue and not cobalt blue enough. And if you look at this lovely mix, I use way too much paint because I don't know what I'm doing. Guys, I draw digitally, don't judge me. Anyway, I messed up, so what we need to do is after some more painting in progress. Yes, and after murdering a few Smurfs that I did off camera, we have him in a better color. And he's very glossy and shiny, and it looks messy, but I swear I fix it later. So, if you would just admire him in his lovely little detail, and ignore all of the blue that got splattered everywhere, look at him, he's amazing. But yet, that is not all, because one more time we'll do it justice, and boom, we've added some little effects, some more darker and some more lighter colors, I guess you could say, the shading and the detail. And wowza, look at him as I contort my arm in a very strange way. Ooh, he's got the SPINOCERATOPSian details, like the lighter blue on his little hips and belly, and then the darker blue on his sail. And so, after we do that, after some more painting in progress, we have even more details. Now he has little spots or scales on him. I tried to do the scales, but they look more like spots, but you know what, he's a mini, so it works. Anyway, he's got even more of the darker blue around him, which I guess is almost purple, especially on his sail, his spikes, not his spikes, his sail, his legs, and his mouth. And so, that is all the blue and cobalt and purples done for our Spinoceratops, and now all we need to do is take out the trash. And I now understand this palette de papel, because you can just fold it up, and then pick it up, and then walk across your tiny little room because you live in a college dorm and you have no space to do anything, and then throw it in your trash. Boom. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Now nothing is gonna stain anywhere. But, as we walk back across my tiny little room, look at my tiger rug, he's cute. Anyway, back in my chair, back to the paint, and now we need to do some yellow and white to get the tan. And now we have a new sheet of palette de papel, and boom, there you have it. The colors have been mixed, no title card this time because it was such a fast transition. And now all we need to do is add some of the painting in progress. Haha, now we get the title card. And so, just like before, I mixed it too light, and yikes, it's very yellow-y, and it's not, like, dark enough, because the Spinoceratops actually is a pretty dark, like, horn and countershading color. So, after mixing it up again, and doing it one more time, boom, there you have it. Now he's got all his little painted details, and I swear it looks better in person. The lighting is just really weird in this shot. But if we get up real up close and personal, look at all those little details and all those colors. And, oh, well, I added in the eyes, so painting in progress. Quick, we forgot it. And so, after the painting in progress, the eyes have been added, and it's just red little dots, because apparently he has red eyes. So, anyway, cool. Yeah, look at him. That's kind of all the painting done. It went smoother-ish than I expected. A bit messy, but he's also a mini, so you can't really tell exactly. But if you notice a few little details here, I tried my best. Has some white dry brushing, because he lives in the snow, so I thought it would be cool if he was like, ooh, look, he's like snowy and whatever. It looks okay, but we're going across my room to get him in some better lighting, because I swear, it looks better in person, but everything makes it look more yellow. Here, like, kind of... Ignore my shoes. This is kind of how it looks. Like, you know, you see, he's lighter on the belly, and apparently my camera's way out of focus. Come on, hold it. There we go. He kind of looks like that, and he looks good in person. I'm happy with him. But yeah, the white dry brushing along the tail and the sail and whatnot, and there are my legs. Ooh, hello. Anyway, we're going back to the table. Enough of my room. We're going back to my terrible little desk filming setup. But all that's really left to do is coat him in some, like, Mod Podge-like thing. Actually, no, it's not Mod Podge. It is E6000 yet again. And so after I clean up my hands from all the Smurf murder, we can see, boom, he has been coated in that E6000. And what I like about this is it kind of clumps in little places and leaves these little residues, which I normally would get rid of, but they kind of look like big chunks of snow. So I decided to keep them on him, and I'm sure, of course, over the time they'll fall off, but for now, he's got this little snow-covered effect to him. And this, of course, means that the paint will not peel off, because apparently E6000 is an adhesive and a sealer, so I made the right purchase. But if we look at some of these amazing, beautiful shots, that is the Spinoceratops finished, and on to the gallery. Alrighty, patati, welp, I did a thing. I usually record videos of me on my iPad drawing things in Adobe Fresco, but no, today I decided to not be a screenager and do something in the real world for myself. And I'm actually pretty proud of the way this turned out. I know it's like, you know, not the most greatest thing in the world, but for a Spinoceratops mini, in like the Mattel style, I think he look, and the first job, or paint job I've ever done, I think he looks pretty darn good. So, let me know what you thought of this video. I have many other things to repaint because I keep buying dinosaur toys and I keep getting the same ones because I'm terrible with my money. But if you want to see more Mattel mini customs or whatever the heck customs, let me know and I will get to painting them right away. Anyway, thanks for sticking it out to the end, guys, and I'll see you later.